I had to go work and support my family, even in the midst of all this chaos. And so I went to work, and on the way to work, I cried all the way there, dried my eyes, went and worked my 8, 9, 10 hours, came out, cried all the way home, dried my eyes so that when I came inside, she didn't have to see me sad, because I didn't want to make her sadder. And, I went through this cycle for about a year, every day. And so on Saturdays, I would go and spend a little bit of time by myself, just drive around a little bit in the morning. And during those times, I had a lot of discussions with God. And most of the time it was unidirectional from me to God. And I asked him a lot of questions and gave him a lot of opinions. He's a very good listener. And I said to him one time, I said, God, where were you that day? And God doesn't talk to me in a voice very often, a few times in my entire life. And this time he said to me in a very clear voice, he said, I was there and I watched the whole thing. And I watched the sin of the world, and it pains me. But, God can't get in the way of our own choices, our own free will. If he didn't let us have free will, then our love for him wouldn't be genuine. God could, if he wanted to, he could have created a set of robot zombies that walked around the earth praising God is right out of the womb. Instead, he gives us, we're sentient beings that get to make our own choices. We have to decide whether or not we trust God, whether we love God. And so he gets to watch a lot of very poor choices, including Joey's. And he watched a situation where a beautiful boy died. And I'm sure that God suffers. I have had a discussion with Peter before, and one Bible verse that I can repeat very clearly is Jesus wept. And it's the shortest verse in the Bible. It's, I think, one of the most beautiful. One of the things I like about it is that it explains that Jesus was a man. Jesus has emotions. Jesus understands the concept of pain. And, when his friend died, he cried. And so it's embarrassing, or maybe it's uncomfortable for some people to watch, a man cry, or other, woman or whoever, that may be uncomfortable for them. Jesus and God designed this system for our body to let the pain out. And tears are one of them. And it's a cathartic thing. If I cut my finger right now with a knife and I was bleeding and I wiped it and I put a bandage on it, in a week or two, the miraculous nature of our human body is that finger would start to heal. And the white blood cells would go there and the skin would regenerate, and, before you know it, your finger would look pretty much brand new. There's something about the way that God designed our psyche and our soul to somehow help us heal. And I don't know, I don't understand it, but when you have a catastrophe, if you will let God work in your heart, that slowly the wound will first, he gives you shock, so you have protection from, your brain would just go insane from the pain. I couldn't breathe. In the first days, I actually had to remind myself to breathe, and I found myself choking because I stopped breathing. So, God has got some kind of a plan in our bodies and our minds and our souls to slowly, over time, to heal us from wounds if we'll let him. And I don't understand it, and it can't come too soon, and it'll probably take me the rest of my life for the pain to completely, it may never go away, but I am healing slowly. It's been 3 years. I'm able to at least talk to you and not be, a blubbering idiot.